Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be talking about 90 Day Fiancé, The Other Way, Season 4, The Tell-All, Part 1 and Part 2. Now I'm just going to preface this video by saying I'm just ranting and going off the top of my head. I'm not going play by play of what happened in each episode. Like, you can watch it for yourself. But I didn't know if you guys watched the show or not, and I just wanted to rant about a couple of people and a couple of things. But before I get into it, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and to check out some of my previous videos. Now with this video, I'll be going couple by couple, and then at the end, I'll just talk about my review for the tell-all as a whole. So first, I want to talk about Chris and Jamie. Now, I also want to preface this by saying as well, I did not watch the whole entire season. Like, this season was probably the most boring season ever. There were a lot of couples that were boring to me, but I just decided to watch the tell-all anyway. So I know a bit of what's happening, but I don't know every little detail, so if I missed something, let me know. But I want to talk about Chris and Jamie because I did not like the fact that they glossed over domestic abuse. Like, literally, Chris has been acting like Jamie is just wanting her for money. But how can she want her for something she don't have? Like, she talked about how she don't have money and how she has to work all these jobs because she's broke. Then why would a gold digger get with someone who's broke? Like, that don't really make sense to me. They both have their flaws, but Chris has more flaws to me. Like, she talked about she's always in pain and things like that, but you over her diving head first into the pool. Like, it's just little stuff like that. Like, it just seems like she's a liar. Like, she lies all the time. And she constantly keeps ghosting Jamie and stuff, and just wants to come back like everything's fine. Like, no, that's not how it works. It just really pissed me off when, like, Jamie went to the car or whatever, and over here Chris is having a mental breakdown, freaking out, like, over nothing. And she literally lunges and pushes Jamie back from the truck. And I'm like, so is no one gonna hold her accountable? Like, that's not okay. It's not like Jamie was attacking her or trying to hit her or get all in her face. She didn't do that. She was just talking to the producer, and she just lunged and pushed Jamie. Like, Jamie could have got hurt, like, for real. But nobody wants to talk about that. When they showed that at the tell-all, nobody said anything. They're just like, wow, that's crazy. No, hold her accountable. Like, that's wrong. That's not okay. You don't put your hands on anybody. And I can't believe there's actual people who are trying to justify her putting her hands on Jamie. Like, that was not necessary at all. And then when the video, after the video showing, Chris is like, oh, when I get angry, I just black out. Like, that's not an excuse. Do you not see that as a problem? That you're so angry to the point where you blacking out, pushing people? And then we know Chris likes to carry around weapons. If your temper is that fragile, you should not be having no weapon. So, it's just, and then here we go with her lying and lying and lying. Literally, Jamie was like, oh, she talking about how she paid for my rent, but she only sent one payment, and she just showed one payment on her phone. And then Chris was like, oh, well, I sent one payment, but I also had my mom send her money. Like, that don't make no sense. If you gonna lie, at least make your lies make sense. Why would one time you give your mom money? Why would one time you gave Jamie money on your own and then give it to your mom? Like, aren't you a grown woman? Like, I don't get it. It don't make sense to me. And she just kept lying and lying about what had happened. And then they kept talking about, oh, well, Jamie cheated on me, yada, yada, yada. But I'm like, well, you married her after the fact, so it must not have been that big of a deal. And honestly, I don't really think Jamie was in the wrong. If you ghost your partner for 5 to 30 days, I'm thinking it's more so 30 days because Chris likes to lie. But even so, if you're ghosting your partner, the partner is going to think the relationship's over. I mean, that's like, that's just common. Like, if I was talking to somebody and they just stopped responding, stopped answering, and ghosted me for like weeks, it's done. It's finito. Me personally, I'm blocking you and we're done. Like, I don't got time for the games. I don't have time for the games. And Chris is playing games, and then she want to cry victim that she was with somebody else. And then she gonna be like, oh, I have the proof, I have the proof. And then showing everybody her phone that she cheated. Okay. Well, Jamie admitted to that. And that was before y'all married. So why are you still carrying around in the receipt? Why are you still whining and crying about it? Like, you're weird. And like, people think she on drugs, allegedly, and you know, would it really be that far off? I mean, come on. Like, with how she acts so erratic, and she's just very strange. And I'm glad Jamie ain't with her no more. She shouldn't be with anybody because she's very aggressive and very aggressive, and I don't and she need help, like, genuinely. And I don't know what outfit she was wearing either, but okay. Um and it was interesting, Gabe talking about oh, I don't like Chris. But she had nothing to say to her when she was there, but she had something to say to everybody else. But we gonna get into that. We gonna get into that later. But yeah, they better dive into that more, part 3, because part 3 ain't out yet. But I just had to rant right now, and I might make a follow up video if part 3 is interesting enough. But yeah, I didn't like that. Hopefully Jamie finds someone better than her. Like, Chris is straight trash. So next, I'll talk about Jen and Rishi. Ah, okay, this is literally Jenny and Summit all over again. But okay, Jen, you're dumb. Like, I'm sorry, but you knew from the get go that his family probably wouldn't accept you. That's why he never told his family about you. And you knew this for years, and you still kept dating him after he went and introduced you to your family. If the guy I was with didn't want to introduce me to his family, like, ever, as his, like, girlfriend or fiance, there's nothing to be talked about. Like, we don't need to be together, especially if you need your parents' approval. Like, why are we dating then if you're never going to introduce me? So Jen was dumb enough for even going with that in the first place. And then she wants to cry tattoo tears and cry and cry and cry that he's doing it again when she decided to get back together with him. Like, why would you, what possibly made you think this situation would be different getting back together with him? And then what also was weird to me was, like, I didn't like how everybody was attacking Rishi. Like, we need to get out, not we, but not me included in this we, but we need to get out of that mentality that America is the only way. The American way is the only way. Did a lot of the cast members forget that, like, where Rishi is from, it's very family centered. Very family centered. Like, they tend to live adults tend to live with their families and take care of their families and seek their parents' approval for everything. Like, and he's supporting his family as well. Like, do people forget about that? Because they're like, oh, he's a mama's boy. Oh, he's a coward. He won't get up and leave the parents' house. No, that doesn't make him a coward from where he's from. Like, do people forget that? Like, but I just, yeah, I didn't like how everybody was attacking Rishi. Like, Rishi is wrong for leading Jen on, and for not, and for lying as well. But in the same breath, like, Jen is dumb as well, and she's not a victim because she knew what it was and she still kept being with him. So, and then she gonna say, oh, we're not engaged. But then Rishi says, oh, we are engaged. But then she wants him to tell his family that they're engaged. I thought y'all weren't engaged anymore. Like, but so Rishi beats around the bush trying to tell his family the truth, and the mom was like, no, she's too old. And then Jen wanna cry about, oh, she's age shaming me. Oh my gosh. Like, girl, she's not age shaming you. She's not saying your age is bad. She's just saying that because, for one, from where they're from, it's weird that, like, an older woman is dating a younger man. It's even kind of sort of weird here too. Like, I don't know how I'd feel if my son brought home, like, a woman 20 years older than him. Like, it's just, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So I can't get mad at the mom about that. And also, I don't, like I said, I haven't watched the whole entire show, so I don't know if Rishi wants children or not. But if he does, it's going to be 10 times harder, like, trying to have a child with Jen because she's older. And, women have, our biological clock. So, it's going to be a little bit harder to, like, have children. So I think that was the reasons why the mama said no. But then Jen was like being rude, talking about his mama like that, and that wasn't necessary. I get you upset, but you knew this from day A, and you kept going with it. So I don't want to hear you crying about it no more. Like, you either leave him or you suck it up and keep it pushing. Okay? Okay. So next, we'll talk about Danielle Johan. This is gonna be very quick because they didn't really get into them in part 1 or part 2. We're probably gonna get into them later. But you know, all I really want to talk about with them was that when Jen and Rishi's friends came out, oh, that reminds me, Jen's friend, the blonde one, like, she's still talking about I catfished him and he sent me inappropriate messages and all that stuff. But he just sent her a picture that he sends everybody else. And after she asked him, send me a special part of yourself. Like, shut up. Quit trying to make it seem like he's a cheater. And he might very well be a cheater, but this is not good evidence. Like, please stop. But anyway, they was talking about Danielle likes to hold Johan's balls in her purse, and she emasculates him. And again, like I said, I have not watched the whole entire season, but I have to agree. Like, the stuff I have seen, she has emasculated him. And then she wants to talk about, oh, well, until he can provide, then yada, yada, yada. But I'm like, well, you knew from day A that he wouldn't be able to provide for you. That's why he wanted to move to the United States. And that's why you promised him you would move to the United States so he could get a job where he can actually get more money. And also, you don't want to live into Johan's means. Johan can afford that big apartment you want to live in. Okay? But no, you're whining about how you want to move to the DR so bad. And you knew from day A that he couldn't provide the life that you wanted with the income he makes in the DR. So I'm like, why change the plans and be like, oh, it's his fault, it's his fault? No, he was planning on getting a better job in the US. I don't know how the economy is in DR, but like, he could probably provide for her if they stuck with their original plan. But whatever. So now I want to talk about Nicole and Mahmoud. Okay. I'm tired of this Nicole is a victim narrative. She is not a victim. Okay? She is not a victim. She knew who Mahmoud was. She knew who he was. She knew what he was about. He told her what he was about, and she was like, okay. She joined Islam knowing that she didn't really know about the Muslim culture. She went to Egypt to stay with him, and she didn't like it, so she came back to the US, and now she went back to Egypt again, and now she wants him to come over to the US. I'm like, girl, you knew from day A what he was about. You knew that he did not want you to wear revealing clothing. You knew that he was a Muslim, and they have certain culture and certain things about their religion. You knew about all that. But you want to cry when he wants to apply to y'all's relationship. Like, I don't know why you thought being with a conservative Muslim man would allow you to do whatever you want to do. If you did some research, or if you actually paid attention to the first time you went to Egypt, then you would know how it would be. And I don't know why you thought going back to Egypt for the second time things would change. I don't really know I don't know what you thought would happen. So I don't really get why people think Nicole's a victim or why people feel bad for her. Like, she knew what it was and she stuck with it anyway. So I don't want to hear you crying. And even getting into Mahmoud and Gabe. Gabe was being very Islamophobic, honestly. I don't even like saying phobic, whatever, but like, his questions were very off-putting, and I did not like them. So he was talking about, oh, are you going to force your kids to be Muslim, or are you going to force Nicole to do this and do that? I'm like, Nicole's not being forced to do anything. She chose this. She chose him, knowing what he was about. And no one expects Mahmoud to change. So I don't know why, like, we're saying, oh, Nicole's the victim, yada, yada, yada. No, she's not. She's not the victim. And like what Sean said, will we be having the same conversation if it was Christianity or Judaism or any other religion? And the answer is no. Like, people are allowed to raise their children how they want to. If they want to raise them Christian, then they can. If they want to raise them as a Jew, they can. So if they want to raise them as Muslim, they can. It's not about forcing. It's about raising your children in the way you were raised. Why is that a bad thing? Like, I don't, like, I'm a Christian myself, so I plan on raising my kids as Christian. Like, that doesn't mean I'm forcing it on them. When they're adults, they can make their own decisions. But as a kid, as when you're a parent, certain things are put in place for your children because you want the best for them. So the reason why he was questioning about imaginary children he doesn't have, and like saying he was going to force his religion on them, and I just didn't like. I didn't like that. It wasn't necessary and it was rude. So Mahmoud had every right to be upset. Um, did he get a little overboard with his anger? Sure. But he had every right to be upset and he felt disrespected. And if someone was questioning me like that, I'd feel disrespected as well. And then Nicole wanna cry, oh, I want everyone to get along. Oh, I can't control what Gabe says. Yada yada yada. Yes, you can, cause you was probing him. You was probing Gabe to say what he was saying, cause he was telling you, I don't really like your husband. He was like, well, are you gonna tell him that? So I don't want to hear that. You're not a victim. You like to start stuff. So stop. Um, and get on the Gabe and Isabel. I it's just Gabe was talking too much for me. Like he had something to say for everybody, but nothing to say for when it counted. Okay, um, like shut up. You don't need to put your input into every question and every couple. Like Gabe and Isabel were probably the most boring couple this season. That's why I don't know much about them. Um, if they still together, good for them. But I really do not care. Um, and I didn't think it was necessary to have like a 10-minute conversation about what's in people's pants. Like, I really did not care about that. Like, we're here for the drama. Okay, I did not care to hear that. That's the thing about these tell-alls. Like, why are they 3-parters? But like, that's not necessary. Just give it to me all in one or two, like usual. They just fill it up with random filler moments like this, or having like the pillow talk cast come in and talk. I don't care what they gotta say. Like I don't care. I didn't come for them. They're not on the season. Why are they here giving their opinion? Like we don't care. I would care if it was actual like people who review the show who are not affiliated with the show, then okay, that could be interesting. But if it's just like the same like raggedy people, like I don't care. Like be quiet. Um so yeah, I just kind of want to rant about a couple of people, and I hope that the next 90 days, season, whatever, that comes on, it's more entertaining than this one. Because this one was boring, like that I skipped episodes and stuff. I almost forgot about Debbie and Osama. Like, my apologies. Osama, like, he just don't care. Like, he don't care what anybody gotta say about him. Like, he's just like, oh, well, I wanted to be with, I try to get back with Debbie. She don't want me back. Oh, well. Um, like I said, I did not watch the entire show, so I missed most of their like scenes together. But from the clips I've seen and what I've heard, like he was getting on her nerves, she was getting on his nerves, and he was like, "Well, the original plan was to go to the U.S., not here. Like, so why are we here?" And then she was hurt by that or whatever. But I don't know. With Debbie, like she's very out there. That's what I can say. Her outfit was out there. Her personality is out there. I mean, I love that for her, but like, she has some of the weirdest takes, like saying that Jamie was a taker and Chris was a giver. Like, girl, what are you talking about? Have we watched the same show? Like, what? Or I don't know. She was just a little all over the place. And then she want to talk about Jamie being a predator or whatnot, but I'm like, aren't you a 60-year-old going after a 24-year-old? Like, who's really the predator? Like, okay. Um, but yeah, I don't really have much to say about Debbie. I mean, yeah. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Thank you for watching. Bye.